Creating your own lane, stop competing, start building what belongs to you. I gotta tell you something real. Everybody's out here trying to compete, trying to fit in, trying to win someone else's game. But that ain't how legends are made. You don't become great by running the same race as everybody else. You become great by creating your own lane. Stop comparing, stop competing, and start building something that belongs to you, something only you can offer to the world. The moment you start chasing other people's paths, you're limiting yourself, living in their shadows, and gambling with your own potential. The key is to understand your value, your vision, and the unique impact only you can make, and then commit to it relentlessly. Creating your own lane isn't just a mindset, it's a lifestyle. It means turning your ideas into action, your skills into influence, and your vision into something tangible. While the world's busy worrying about trends, followers, and what everybody else is doing, you focus on building infrastructure, relationships, and opportunities that nobody can replicate. Your lane is built on authenticity, integrity, and consistency. It's built on the things you're willing to do quietly, day in and day out, that no one sees at first, but everyone eventually recognizes. That's how legacies are made, through unseen work that eventually commands respect and opens doors that nobody could have predicted. See, when you focus on competing, you become reactive. You're constantly chasing someone else's success, copying their moves, and letting fear and envy dictate your actions. But when you build your own lane, you become proactive. You set the pace, define the standards, and create a space where you call the shots. You're not waiting for permission or validation. You're not asking for approval. You're showing up every day, executing on your vision, and letting your work speak for itself. And when you do that, you attract the right people, opportunities, and momentum naturally, because authenticity and excellence always draw the right attention. Building your lane requires courage because it means standing alone at times. People may not understand your vision. They may doubt you, laugh at your ideas, or try to pull you back into conformity. That's part of the process. Real growth comes when you're willing to risk judgment, embrace discomfort, and trust yourself more than the opinions of the crowd. Your lane is your responsibility. Nobody else can walk it for you. And the more you invest in creating something original, the more you control your future, the more resilient you become, and the more meaningful your success will be. Another part of creating your own lane is patience. Your vision may not make sense to everyone immediately. You may not see recognition or results right away, but that's okay. The people who succeed in their own lane understand that impact and influence take time to build. They stay consistent, keep working, and let the process unfold. Every step, every decision, every small action compounds into momentum. The lane you're building today is the highway for tomorrow's success. And when people finally see it, they can't deny it because it's undeniable, it's yours, and it was built from scratch. Your lane also allows for creativity, innovation, and ownership. When you stop competing in someone else's space, you free yourself to explore, experiment, and expand in ways that were never possible when following the crowd. You can shape your brand, your message, and your impact to reflect your values and your vision. You create systems, opportunities, and wealth that you control. You create a legacy that lasts because it's built on your terms, not borrowed from someone else's path. And that kind of freedom is priceless because it allows you to leave a mark on the world that nobody else could leave. Remember, creating your own lane doesn't mean isolation. It means leading. It means attracting the right people who align with your vision, collaborating with those who respect your space, and mentoring others while protecting what you've built. Your lane becomes a platform for influence, growth, and community. The energy you put into your lane multiplies because it's rooted in authenticity and purpose, not imitation or competition. And the more you protect and invest in your lane, the more it grows, strengthens, and withstands the challenges of the world around you. So the challenge is simple but profound. Stop trying to beat someone at their own game. Stop comparing your journey to theirs. Stop chasing temporary validation. Build your own lane. Invest in your vision. Sharpen your skills. Remain disciplined. And stay committed to your purpose. Do the work that nobody else wants to do. Stay patient. And let your actions define you. The lane you create today becomes the legacy you leave tomorrow. And when you build it with intention, integrity, and persistence, nobody can touch it, nobody can replicate it, and nobody can take it from you. That's how you win. That's how you leave a mark. And that's how you truly create something that belongs to you. Stop competing in other spaces and focus on creating your own lane. Building something authentic that only you can offer, because too many people waste their lives chasing someone else's path, trying to measure up, or copying what's already been done. Competition has its place, but when your focus is on outrunning, outdoing, or outshining someone else, you surrender control over your own vision. You allow someone else's standards, success, and pace to define your actions and dictate your direction. That's a trap, because greatness doesn't come from imitation or reaction. It comes from originality, from understanding your unique value, and from committing to building something that is entirely yours. Creating your own lane means stepping off the crowded path, away from comparison and judgment, and investing in a vision that only you can bring to life. When you stop competing in other spaces, you free yourself from the pressures of the crowd and the expectations of the world. You begin to see clearly where your talents, strengths, and passions intersect, and you focus on developing those areas instead of trying to replicate someone else's success. Most people fail because they spend all their energy comparing themselves to others, measuring their worth by someone else's achievements, and chasing goals that weren't designed for them. But when you decide to build your own lane, you acknowledge that your journey is unique, your timing is different, and your impact can be greater if it comes from a place of authenticity. Authenticity is the foundation of your lane, and it is what sets you apart in a world full of imitators and followers. Creating your own lane requires vision. It requires a clear understanding of who you are, what you stand for, and the kind of legacy you want to leave. You can't build something meaningful if you don't know what it is you want to create or why it matters. Vision gives you direction, it guides your decisions, and it motivates you to keep going even when the work is hard or recognition is slow. The people who succeed in their own lane are those who see beyond the noise, beyond the distractions, and beyond the limits others try to impose. They understand that building something original takes time, focus, and patience, and they are willing to endure the process because they know the destination is worth it. Discipline and consistency are critical when you create your own lane. Most people start with enthusiasm but lose momentum because they rely on motivation alone, which fluctuates and fades. Discipline, however, allows you to show up every day, put in the work, and maintain progress even when the excitement isn't there. Consistency compounds over time, and those small daily efforts accumulate into something substantial and unshakable. Your lane grows stronger with each deliberate action, and the more you protect your focus and remain committed to your vision, the more unstoppable you become. Discipline in your lane ensures that your work is intentional and that every step moves you closer to the outcomes you desire. Building your own lane also demands courage. It requires you to stand alone at times, to face skepticism, criticism, or even opposition. People may not understand your path or your purpose, and they might try to pull you back into conformity. But courage allows you to remain steadfast, to trust your instincts, and to act in alignment with your values. The moments when you feel isolated or misunderstood are often the moments when your lane is taking shape. Each decision to persist despite doubt, each risk taken to pursue your vision, and each act of originality strengthens the foundation of what you're creating. Courage is what separates leaders from followers and innovators from imitators. Patience is another essential component. Your lane will not grow overnight, and results may take time to appear. You may put in countless hours of work, face setbacks, or feel invisible, while others seem to succeed faster. But those who understand the value of creating their own lane know that long-term success requires endurance. Every step, no matter how small, compounds into momentum over time. Patience allows you to remain focused on the process, to keep building while the world is distracted by instant gratification, and to trust that your dedication will eventually pay off in ways that are meaningful and lasting. Innovation and creativity flourish in your own lane. When you stop competing, you stop copying and start creating. You explore new ideas, experiment with unique approaches, and build systems and opportunities that no one else can replicate. Your lane becomes a space where you control the narrative, shape the culture, and define your impact. Ownership of your lane gives you freedom to scale, expand, and influence without being tethered to someone else's rules, limitations, or expectations. The originality you cultivate attracts the right people, opportunities, and momentum, because authenticity resonates in a way imitation never can. Finally, creating your own lane means building a legacy. Your work, your vision, and your influence become something that endures beyond temporary competition or fleeting recognition. By focusing on what belongs to you, by investing your energy into originality, discipline, and consistent action, you establish a foundation that withstands time and creates impact. The lane you build today becomes the highway for future success, a space where you call the shots, control your destiny, and inspire others to carve their own paths. The more deliberate, courageous, and patient you are in constructing your lane, the more meaningful and lasting your achievements will be, because they are born from your vision, your effort, and your authenticity. Building your own lane requires courage, patience, discipline, and consistency, and it ultimately leads to freedom, influence, and a lasting legacy, because creating something original is never easy. Most people are conditioned to follow paths that are already laid out, to measure themselves against others, and to compete within existing systems. But true success comes when you break away from the familiar and carve out a space that belongs uniquely to you. Courage is essential in this process, because stepping away from the safety of the crowd and the validation of others demands risk. You're taking on the unknown, trusting yourself more than the approval or understanding of anyone else, and committing to a vision that only you can see clearly. Every step taken with courage strengthens your confidence and reinforces the belief that you are capable of more than the world has told you. Patience is another critical element when building your own lane. Success does not happen overnight, and the fruits of your labor are often invisible for long periods. Those who lack patience are easily frustrated, distracted, or swayed by the successes of others. But those who cultivate patience understand that momentum builds gradually, that every small, deliberate effort compounds, and that time is a friend to those who commit to the process. Patience allows you to endure the slow periods, maintain focus when recognition is absent, and continue building steadily despite external pressures. It teaches you to value the journey as much as the destination, recognizing that the skills, relationships, and habits you develop along the way are the true assets that sustain long-term success. Discipline is the backbone of building a lane that lasts. Motivation is fleeting, but discipline ensures that you show up, execute, and maintain consistency regardless of circumstance or mood. Discipline is choosing long-term benefit over short-term comfort, prioritizing effort and growth over distractions and instant gratification. Every act of discipline, every day you put in work when no one is watching, strengthens your capacity to persevere under pressure, manage challenges effectively, and sustain progress toward your vision. Consistency born from discipline compounds over time, creating a foundation that supports growth far beyond what a single burst of effort could achieve. Consistency is closely linked to both patience and discipline, and it is what turns effort into results. Building a lane requires repeated action, refinement, and persistence, because without consistency, even the most innovative ideas or bold strategies fail to gain traction. Each day of focused effort builds momentum, and over time, the accumulation of these actions forms a pathway that is unmistakably your own. People may not notice the work at first, but the long-term effect is undeniable. Consistency also reinforces credibility, reliability, and mastery, signaling to others and to yourself that you are serious about your vision and committed to seeing it through. Regardless of external recognition or validation, the combination of courage, patience, discipline, and consistency develops resilience. Creating your own lane is not without obstacles. You will face setbacks, doubt, criticism, and resistance from both within and without. Resilience allows you to navigate these challenges without losing focus or momentum. Each obstacle you overcome through discipline, consistent action, strengthens your confidence and expands your capacity to handle even greater challenges. Resilience developed in your own lane becomes a shield, allowing you to maintain clarity and determination when others might falter or give up. It ensures that your vision remains intact even when the path is difficult or the outcomes are delayed. Building your own lane also leads to freedom. When you step away from competing in other people's spaces, you gain control over your time, decisions, and priorities. You are no longer bound by someone else's rules, expectations, or comparisons. This freedom allows you to innovate, experiment, and create opportunities on your own terms. It enables you to align your actions with your values, make strategic choices without external pressure, and direct your energy toward pursuits that have the greatest personal and professional impact. Freedom gained through building your lane is powerful because it transforms your work from obligation to purpose and your life from reaction to intentional design. Influence naturally grows from the work done in your lane. When you commit to originality, excellence, and consistency, others begin to notice. Your vision, your actions, and your authenticity attract people, opportunities, and resources that align with your purpose. Influence is not the result of chasing popularity or imitating others. It is earned through credibility, integrity, and the value you create. The more intentional and disciplined you are in your lane, the more your impact multiplies, extending beyond personal achievement to inspire, guide, and empower others. Influence is a byproduct of authenticity and excellence, and it amplifies the reach of the legacy you are building. Finally, building your own lane establishes a lasting legacy. The combination of courage, patience, discipline, and consistency ensures that the structures, habits, and achievements you create are enduring. Unlike temporary success or borrowed victories, a lane built with intentionality becomes a foundation for long-term impact. Your work, vision, and influence extend beyond your immediate presence, shaping the opportunities, perspectives, and growth of those who come after you. A legacy formed in your own lane reflects your values, your perseverance, and your originality, leaving an imprint that cannot be replicated or taken away. Those who embrace the discipline, patience, courage, and consistency required to create their own lane understand that they are not just building success, they are building a life, a platform, and a mark on the world that lasts far beyond the temporary measures of comparison or competition.